Hello everyone and welcome to another video with Cast on the Maizuma channel. So what I bring you today is an interesting mechanic I found by accident, and it basically allows us to do very compact mob traps for mob spawners. I'm not sure this is the most interesting way of doing this, and this is probably very old, but I've never seen anything like this in the past, so this is why I decided to share this. So usually what I do with mob spawners is I dig deep enough so that mobs will spawn me there and they will immediately fall to their death. This is very efficient, very fast, very interesting. But then I found this by accident. So let's wait for this mob spawner to do the next wave. Let's see. So as you can see, we have lots of water down here at the floor level, and I expected the spiders to be swimming, but they're not swimming. Instead, they're hanging in there, and eventually they're going to start taking damage because they will start to drown, and they will die, and then we will be able to collect their items and place everything inside this little chest in here. So I left the bones here just to remind me to tell you that. So eventually this thing will spawn a spider jockey. In case you guys don't know, because it's a little bit of a rare event. It's a skeleton acting as a jockey to a spider. So in that case, you can use those water currents, those streams, because the spider will die, but if you AFK here long enough, this thing will fill up with skeletons. So if you want to get rid of the skeletons, you can use this water and take the skeletons somewhere else, maybe to magma blocks, and kill them this way. But this is very interesting, and if you guys were not able to figure out how I'm doing this, let me reveal the secret. I can get on game mode 3 and show you this now. So if I press F3B now, getting back, you can see that the hitbox of the spider, this thin line here, this is why they're drowning, and I'm using slabs on the floor. This is why the water is floating. So apparently, if you have solid blocks or any kind of tall enough block in here, a full block, they will start swimming. But if you have slabs in here, they will not swim. So this is enough to trick the AI into having the spiders not swim and kill them. So this is really easy, and I'm not sure what the applications are. Maybe if you find a mob spawner that is too low for you to dig down, it gets to bedrock level pretty soon, so maybe you can use this technique. So I got intrigued and thought about what other mobs could benefit from this, or what could we benefit from if we use this with other mobs. So I tried this with silverfish, cave spiders, and even with pigs. So the pigs, they will drown, but the spawning conditions are different. They need grass, so maybe not the best alternative. By the way, I have a video on how to farm pigs using spawners on my channel if you guys are interested. And it doesn't work for cave spiders because they are too short, so their heads don't get inside the water. You would need to use some taller block, like enchanting tables. Those are not full blocks, but who wants to spend that many diamonds just to kill cave spiders? Absolutely not worth it. And in my tests, even that failed. They start swimming, so there is a limit to that. So basically it only works for spiders. But I also wanted to try something with two tall mobs. So is it possible to do this to zombies and skeletons? So I built this other setup up here. But first, the collection is just hoppers down here. If you want to go a little bit cheaper, you can also use minecarts. A single minecart with a hopper is enough to collect everything. And no, this is not going to kill your game. This is not going to cause lag on your server. Stop being paranoid about things. Be smart about the technical information you get out there. So this is the second setup, and this is a little bit easier. I forgot something else. I always like to mention this. So usually we would go 4 blocks from the mob spawner. But in here I went 5 blocks because spiders are too big. They can spawn in here and they will attach to the walls. They will stick to the walls. So using iron bars here is almost like going 5.5 blocks just to make sure that they won't attach to any walls. You could also use water on the walls and it will sort out this kind of problem. So getting back to the too tall option with mobs, so I'm using open fence gates here to hold the water, and the daylight sensors were the only block that worked in here. Like, slabs are too tall, so with slabs they would swim full blocks, they will swim. Trapdoors, they will not run. But as you can see here, their heads are inside the water and eventually they will take damage from drowning. This is interesting for too tall mobs because sometimes the mobs will spawn with armor. So even if you use the technique, even if you use fall damage, sometimes they will spawn with, say, Feather Falling 2. So for that case, you could maybe use magma blocks on the floor. This would be definitely cheaper than using this. But once again, I'm not sure what are the applications for this. I'm just showing you an interesting mechanic that they're supposed to detect that they are in water and they should be trying to swim, but they're not trying to. Instead, they're ignoring the fact that they're drowning and they die anyways. So you could use wall signs instead of fence gates in here because as you can see, if I don't use inverted daylight sensors, they will power and close the fence gate. The fence gates. And down here I also had to use a minecart with a hopper because even without access to sunlight, the daylight detectors will power and lock any hoppers directly below them. So I had to use a minecart in here to collect everything, which is somehow cheaper because this requires quartz, so this is not ideal. This is not what we want really. But it works, guys. Yeah, and it's an interesting option. Just wanted to share this. It's as I told you guys, this is probably old, but I swear I have never seen anything like this. And maybe you can use this mechanic for something else in the future. It's good to get the word out there. And that's basically all I had to share for today. I don't think you guys need a tutorial for this. If you want to know the exact dimensions, just ask me in the comments. I can provide this map download for you guys. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you again soon. So bye.